My sophomore year of college, I took a nonfiction creative writing class at SUNY Cortland, and I loved it. And so that kind of brought me back to my love for writing, and so that's when I kind of knew I wanted to do it for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I love to write. I love to sit down and express everything I'm feeling on a piece of paper and share that with people and have people read it and say, wow, this is good. It's the best feeling in the world for me. So I'm excited to do that for the rest of my life. Writing for me, I have to be in the right headspace, whether it's a paper, a personal piece, fiction, nonfiction, whatever it is. If I'm not 100% in the zone, I can't write. I guess the first thing I do when I write is just brainstorm what I'm gonna write about. I like to do outlines. I like to, physically have in front of me what I wanna write down first. And once I get that flow, once I get started, it just kind of falls out of me very naturally, and that's the best feeling in the world.
So when I sit down to write, the first thing I do is, it depends on the paper. So if I'm doing a research-based paper, I'll do all of the research first, and I'll kind of use that to guide it. But if I'm doing something more creative, it really all depends on the environment that I'm in. It has to be my favorite time to write is when I'm snowed in and it's rained in and I'm all cozy under my bed in my socks and stuff. So I have to be in the right headspace also. I can't write if I'm not mentally ready to. Taking professional writing classes always helps with that because I'm kind of forced to write, so it kind of makes me kind of forces myself to write and think a little more.
So right now, I'm currently applying for 4 graduate programs, all communications, media, arts programs, or journalism programs. And my dream is to go to the Craig Newmark School of Journalism in Times Square. I'm trying really hard to get there. So hopefully that's what I do right after school. I move to the city, I go to graduate school, and I find a job right there. I get an apartment and start my life as a journalist.
I want to be an editor. I'm hoping to be an editor for maybe a fashion magazine, or maybe novels. I've been looking a lot into Penguin House or something like that. That would be super cool, but that's the ultimate goal. I know I'm not going to get there as soon as I graduate. So I'm doing an internship next semester. It's for the Borgen Project. It's an editorial internship. So they'll just be sending me articles every week and I'm gonna have to edit them, and I'm very excited about that because that will give me some online editing experience and they'll be able to teach me some things about that. So that'll give me a lot of experience after graduation.
I know that in journalism you have your reporters and you have your editors, but I'm not gonna ever want to submit a piece of work that doesn't look good. Even, I'll edit it myself before I submit it to the editors. It's also really important to have your facts right, have your facts straight. So if there's something that's wrong and the editors might miss it, that's on you because you were supposed to have that information correct. I'm a perfectionist. I need everything to look good before people look at it, which I think might hurt me when it comes to deadlines because you need to have that out, and sometimes I go, wait, no, I need to fix that. I need to fix this. So I'm gonna have to be editing my work before I submit it. And I think this class has really helped me learn how to look at my editing in a different way. I do it almost line by line now. I used to kind of just read it through and say, that's a comma splice, or let me change my word choice here. But now it's every line I'm gonna go through and say, how can I change that? How can I make that better? How can I make that stronger? And this class really helped me learn how to do that and make it more concise.
Well, I want to be an editor, so obviously that's a lot of editing. Being in revising and editing, I think I've learned a lot more about the specifics of it. I didn't know that with each, because I knew there were different types of editing, copy editing versus proofreading, but I didn't really know exactly what went into those and what exactly each department looked for. So I definitely learned about that, so I think that'll help me through my career. And even just learning the original proofreading marks, and that'll be a really cool touch to have when I'm actually going into the field, so I'll know how to do all of that.
In 10 years, I see myself as the head news anchor on CNN. In 10 years, I hope to be a journalist working and creating news for people that's unbiased, and that kind of gears towards young people. There's not really a platform out there, and I think it's really important. I think that I could use podcasting, I can use writing, I can use all of it to try to get news out there to people that are younger and need that, because there's not something out there for us. But I really just want to share stuff that matters. I don't want to write for BuzzFeed. I don't want to do something that I think is meaningless. I want to have meaning and purpose in my writing. So hopefully I'm living in the city, writing for maybe the Times, or just doing something that's going to put out news that's going to do some good in the world, because we really need it right now.
I see myself in the city, hopefully in New York City. I would love to be an editor for some big company, like dreaming big, like Vogue. I would love that. Or like I said, Penguin Random House. That would be so cool. I don't know, I just want to read for the rest of my life.